Hello everyone, I all hope you had a very wonderful, blessed evening and as well as an afternoon as well. Sorry for exactly not exactly shooting in time, guys. I was exactly busy with my family and I was exactly sitting with my grandma and my grandpa and as well with my mother. So sorry for that. Sorry for not exactly shooting on time as usual. But today I'm exactly shooting on the different time, but more earlier than the previous time. Anyway, guys, as you can see, guys, the sky is very quietly beautiful and also it's very quietly windy and it's also getting very hot, as in too hot as usual. As you guys can exactly see yourself, it's very getting very hot. So just be happy and be yourselves and enjoy your day as well. So on today's episodes, we are going to talk about the Fire Brothers, who are very powerful group of master manipulators and a group of powerful super villains who have lived for many centuries ago. Many centuries ago, guys, and even for millennia. So, before I get into it, guys, I just want to say thank you for your support and for you guys subscribing and as well for viewing my episodes and my characters and my characters and as well watching my episodes. It quietly means a lot to me and it will always exactly means a lot to me no matter what, guys. I'm grateful for you guys and I always appreciate your support and everything else to it. Thank you. Means a lot to me, guys. It literally means a lot to me. So let's exactly proceed on this episode. The five on the five brothers on the early histories of the five brothers. They were part of the group. They were part of the group of dark magic users known as the Five Children, working for the Lord or working for the original Lord of Magic at the time. During at that time, the five brothers used their fire dark magic abilities in order to extract fire magic from other fiery magical worlds and other fiery magical dimensions from the other universes. They became quietly too distant, and they became quietly too distant and more quietly too advanced, and became too intelligent as they realized that serving the original world of magic, that is not exactly what that is not exactly their purpose or their mission or their goal at that time. So they decided in order to exactly defect from the five children, and they decided to defect from the group of the five children in order to form their own group of supervillain and masterminds known as the Fire Brothers. Some of the other five children exactly left to join the Fire Brothers. Some of the other five children remained to stay and serve the original Lord of Magic and his mission to exterminating the supernaturals and the aliens of the sacred world and wiping them out for good. Meaning by literally creating an extermination of the supernaturals and aliens permanently, as in literally permanently for good, no matter what. The Fire Brothers exactly felt that that goal and that dream and that purpose wasn't exactly for them, and they realized that that goal for the original Little Magic Skulls and his imaginations would exactly bring the end of their mission and also in their purpose. So they decided to defect and form their own group of supervillains and of masterminds, and they decided to call themselves and proclaim themselves as the Five Brothers. Some of the other five children begin to question what the Five Brothers are up to and why some of them exactly defecting, which they started to exactly defect on that early century. On that early century, one of the other five brothers arrived at the throne room in order to tell the original Lord of Magic that they are after all leaving his organization and his secret society and leaving the Shadow Empire and its warlords and commanders and its goals in order to forge their own goal and their own purposes. Which the original Lord of Magic wasn't quietly displeased or quietly disappointed with this. He was quietly more happy and more satisfied that the five brothers are quietly forming their own group of supervillains and creating a network of their own operatives in order for them to create their own organization and also their own ancient society of supervillains. The little magic exactly told the other five brothers that he's giving them his blessings and as well his support. The five brother was quietly very pleased that the little magic didn't exactly see that as a threat or as an obstacle to his mission or to his goals. He was very quietly pleased with the decision that they quietly took and was very quietly happy with the decision that they exactly quietly took. The group of the five brothers were able to exactly arrive on a fiery ancient temple, on a fiery magical dark temple that is full of fiery crystals and fiery energy in order to use it as a central headquarters for them to exactly operate from and in order for them to exactly advance their future plans and their future goals to controlling and manipulating the Shadow Empire and the wars and the wars and the conflicts to their own advantage in order to further their own goals and their own interests as well, which the five brothers were quietly, very sadistically, very quietly pleased and very quietly happy with this development. They used the fiery, dark, ancient crystal temple as a central headquarters, and they quietly maintain their usual bases of operations, which they keep in secrecy, where they can exactly able to exactly operate in full secrecy and within the shadows of the sacred world, and within the shadows of the sacred world, and throughout the shadows of humanity and the shadows of the sacred universe and of the known universes as well. They maintain the usual bases in order for them to operate from, where they can exactly come out from the shadows and exactly convene and discuss their plans and their operations in order to exactly see how their plans have exactly managed to reach, have birth to fruition for as much as possible. So that's exactly how for what I'm exactly informing you. Despite this, the five brothers exactly decided to plan their goal, and in order to exactly map out their goals and their purposes and their mission, which their goal is to dominate the superhuman race, the race of super beings with great extraordinary powers, in order to make sure that they become the dominant race throughout the known universe and throughout the rest of sacred existence. And the next goal is to dominate the five brothers, making sure that they remain the dominant force and the dominant species throughout the sacred universe and throughout the known universe and throughout sacred existence by any means necessary. Meaning by making them the top of the food chain, and by making sure that they are the top masterminds of the war, and also the controllers of the sacred balance and of the sacred peace, and by making sure that the superhuman race remains the dominant ruling force of the cosmos by any and all means necessary. And the next goal is to eliminate any threats and any obstacles that might oppose them to their missions and also to their goals, no matter what exactly, and completing their next purpose and their next mission. Those are the goals and those are the missions, no matter what exactly. Which the five brothers were able to discuss that those goals and those missions will exactly bear to fruition, and one way or another, they will exactly able to work in their favor by making sure that they dominate themselves throughout the rest of sacred existence and throughout the rest of the sacred universe, by making sure that they become the most powerful species ever existed throughout the rest of sacred existence and throughout the rest of the known universe, and by making sure that the superhuman race remains on top of the food chain and remains the most powerful dominant species ever existed throughout the rest of existence, and by making sure that the supernaturals and the alien races are not to become the most powerful dominant races or species throughout the rest of sacred history, no matter what exactly. And that was the objective of the goal and the purpose of the goal and also its mission, which it exactly headed to. During the following years, the five brothers were able to exactly watch the battles of the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders fighting against the newly forged universal heroes, and also trying to destroy the original Lord of Magic, which created a huge power vacuum unlike any other, forcing every other Shadow Empire warlord and commander to forming an alliance with other powerful secret societies of supervillains, such as the Founders, the Order of the Five, the Order of the Six, the Order of the Seven, the Sacred Circle, Lord Shadowjack, Lord Ra, Winter King, the Galactic as well, and Lord Justin, forming alliances with those secretive societies or supervillains, with those group of secretive societies of supervillains. In return, they exactly supply them with more destructive and powerful technology as part of the agreement, in order for them to conquer and control known worlds and known civilization throughout the rest of sacred existence. And completing that goal would exactly complete the sole dominance of the universe and of the rest of sacred existence, no matter what. The five brothers exactly able to exactly host a video conference on the 1st of January, stating to One Shot Empire warlord and commander that the plan is quietly in place and that everything else should exactly begin the way it was meant to be. Nothing else can exactly ruin the operation that's quietly ready and set in motion. Which the Shadow Empire warlord and commander told them that the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful will continue with the operation. The Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and Faithful launched a full-scale invasion on the Intergalactic Coalition on the 13th of January, able to destroy the Intergalactic Coalition headquarters and bases of operation in order to destroy them and to purposely wipe them out completely due to the intervention of the universal magic heroes and the universal defending heroes, which are led by Lightress and Universal Magic Girl, that were able to exactly counteract the dark druids and the dark witches and the dark faithful attacks, in able to decimate some of them during the battle, and some of them were quite completely decimated. The others of them, some of them were able to quickly teleport during the battle. Some of them were quietly decimated. The battle from both sides suffered much of major casualties from both sides, as were able to be anguished from both sides from being destroyed, but the heroes were able to remain triumphant as they came victorious on the battle, as the enemy was quietly destroyed from both sides, and they were quietly completely decimated from all sides, meaning by keeping them down and as well by destroying them down, no matter what exactly. Some of the other dark druids and other dark witches and faithful were able to teleport during the battle, and they were able to meet up. They were able to meet up with the members of the five brothers on the video conference, telling them that the plan was quite successful, as the operation was quite a brutal, successful operation, as it drew the attention of other heroes in order to come to the aid of the Intergalactic Coalition in order to save their headquarters and their bases. One Five Brothers stated that operation was a well done operation and was a good work, meaning that it's time for phase 2 to exactly to begin, meaning by any means necessary. The Five Brothers continue supplying the Hobbiton Corps with more superhumans and with an army of superhumans on the 1st of February. In order to continue supplying them with an army of superhumans as part of the agreement, and the Hobbiton Corps was quietly happy. But due to the intervention of the Universal Heroes and of the Universal Earth Heroes, were quietly able to intervene on the supply and shipment. They were able to derail the enemy's plans, as well as a sinister plans in using the superhuman army in order for their own personal gain and for their sinister agenda and sinister plans by any means necessary. That is just dogs exactly barking, and also a delivery man exactly making noise with the bike, guys, and also universe quietly barking. So sorry for that disturbance of that noise. Anyway, so let's exactly continue. They were able to derail the enemy's supply shipment with an army of superhumans, when the Universal Heroes and the Universal Earth Heroes were able to intervene on it, and were able to keep back the enemy, neutralizing the enemy's plans. But in doing so, the Hobbiton Corps realizes that Universal Heroes are becoming a problem and are becoming a thorn to the operation, and that they have to be done. They have to be successfully removed, no matter what exactly. The Five Brothers exactly hosted a video audience with the members of the Shadow Empire Warlord and commanders on the 14th of February, stating that their loyalty and their allegiance were quietly useful and that they quietly still needed. But one other Shadow Empire Warlord commander said that their loyalty and allegiance to the Five Brother is not exactly part of the common cause, and that they will not exactly show any loyalty or anything else to their services. Meaning, in other words, their loyalty is quietly, completely placent. In other words, they quietly defected, and they were able to one of the other Shadow Empire Warlord commander threw a powerful arrow disc straightly at the Five Brother, which the Five Brother was able to literally deflect the attack, stating to the Shadow Empire Warlord commander he made a huge mistake attacking them, just stating that your loyalty and your defection is exactly the reason that you should exactly successfully able to defect, which is able to successfully blow a hole straightly into the temple, and was able to successfully escape unscathed, and escape unscathed and unharmed as well throughout his battle cruiser. One Five Brother determined that one Shadow Empire Warlord and commander defecting from the organization and from the society, meaning that others will exactly do the same thing as well. Meaning an example has to be made of one of them. And One Five Brother suggestingly agreed exactly. One Five Brother attended a trial meeting of the Four Nation Hunters on the first of March, able to exactly see exactly how it's all taking place, and he was able to tell the figure behind him that with the Hobbiton Corps exactly dominating their presence throughout the known universe, they'll become too powerful, and they'll become too powerful with the superhuman race under their control, and they'll be exactly using the galactic dominance in order to conquer known worlds and known civilization throughout the rest of sacred existence, and they'll exactly become too powerful with the galactic dominance of the rest of sacred existence. And Owen Darkest was not quietly pleased with this, not quietly pleased with this at all, with this development, seeing the Harvikan core becoming the most powerful galactic, becoming the most powerful empire ever existed throughout the galaxy. He exactly went straight into the galaxy in order to put a stop to the Harvikan core's galactic dominance once and for all, in order to take them down and in order to destroy them once and for all. The 1-5 brother was quietly, statistically pleased that Owen Dawkins exactly listened to his advice and was quietly pleased that he was headed on a mission of destruction in order to destroy the Harvikan core and in order to purposely wipe them out, out of the way, meaning for good this time, and was statistically quietly pleased. 1-5 brother attended a video conference of the members of the 5 children on the 13th of March, in order to exactly enlist their help, stating that the 5 children will exactly work as partners to the 5 brothers in order to aid them with their mission, with their respective missions and goals by any means necessary, and which 1-5 brother suggestively agreed that they'll need all the help and all the resources as they need in order to control the galaxy and place it under the dominant species known as the superhumans and also as the 5 brothers themselves, and will exactly be solely placed under their control no matter what, which was a successful operation that can exactly continue. The 5 brothers continue running a huge operation throughout the galactic war, throughout the sacred galactic war that's been waging on for many centuries ago. This operation had 2 phases. One was to continue supplying superhuman armies and armadas to Lord Power and to the Harvikan core in order to keep the 2 empires in power and in control. The other was to make sure to cripple the Shadow Empire's power and dominant force of the Shadow Empire that remain the dominant force and the dominant ruler of the known universe and of the rest of sacred existence, no matter what, by manipulating the universal heroes and also the Intergalactic Coalition and the United Heroes and the World Heroes and the Fire Heroes and also the Universal Space Heroes and the Universal Defending Heroes to their advantage in order to take down these operations and to neutralizing them by controlling conflicts and wars in order to further their own goals and their own plans, meaning the operation was a successful operation by any and all means necessary. The 5 brothers were able to convene at the fiery ancient dark temple on the 1st of May to discuss the new rumors about the newly Lord of Magic and his newly ancient secret society that is quietly planning on taking over the Shadow Empire and planning to rule on it with an iron fist, and still on a deadly mission to exterminate and wipe out the supernaturals and the aliens and the superhumans of the sacred world and of the sacred universe, meaning that those goals cannot exactly bear to which fruition. Which 1-5 brother was able to state to that, saying that the plan of the new Lord of Magic is exactly taking the original Lord of Magic's goals into wiping out the supernaturals and aliens of the sacred world, and by wiping them out would cause a huge chaos and a huge destruction, meaning in other words they need to exactly help the Universal Prince and his ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Order of the 12 to make sure that they remain in power and that the Universal Prince sits at the universal throne and thrusts the known universe and also the sacred universe into chaos and into destruction. That by doing so, the war between good and evil fighting against each other would exactly tip the scales into their favor, which they were able to agree to this. The 5 brothers continue manipulating the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders into playing into one of their ultimate goals and ultimate schemes on the 1st of June by allowing the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders to conquer many worlds and many civilizations with an iron fist, forcing the Intergalactic Coalition in order to wage a war against them. Many of the battle cruisers and warships were decimated on the skies as all the battle cruisers and all warships rained down from the skies, and they were all quietly completely decimated. Some of the other Empire warlords and commanders were ultimately taken into custody and sentenced straightly into the Astral Prison, a prison designed to house super criminals, super villains, rogue superheroes, evil warlords and commanders, and Shadow Empire warlords and commanders and powerful criminals who would exactly use their powers and ability to create chaos and strife and destruction upon their wake. They were exactly sentenced into the Astral Prison, and they were able to remain in custody of the Astral Prison for the following years, with the Shadow Empire under the sole control and dominance of another supervillain known as Red Bolt, which I told you about him. Remember Red Bolt and his ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Dark Order. Red Bolt was able to use the Shadow Empire, in order to fuel his goals and in order to further his ambition by waging war with the Star Empire. Remember the Star Empire and the Star Witch Queen and the Star Prince, who are the founders and leaders of another organization of supervillains known as the Dark Star. The war between the Star Universe and the Sacred Universe is inevitable, guys. It is literally inevitable, and the five brothers exactly are able to exactly realize that they could exactly manipulate the wars of the Star Universe and of the Sacred Universe to their advantage, and were thus additionally quietly happy with that. Now they can exactly bring down the entire Sacred Universe and enslave it with an iron fist, with a matter of moments, and with one fell swoop, with Red Bolt and his organization known as the Dark Order controlling and manipulating the Shadow Empire to their will, that could exactly control and conquer the Star Universe by removing the Star Witch Queen and the Dark Star and the Star Prince out of the way, and also by removing Red Bolt and the Dark Order and the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders with one fell swoop. But due to the intervention of the Intergalactic Coalition and of the United Heroes able to prevent the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders from conquering worlds and planets, the five brothers grew relentlessly impatient, and they grew relentlessly very quietly angry and very quietly disappointed, meaning that they have to take an effective, immediate initiation in order to make sure that their operations are quietly well done. One five brother was able to enter the Star Universe in order to get intelligence and mission, in order to learn exactly what was happening with these strike team, in order to know exactly what was happening. According to the rumors he heard from the Star Generals and Commanders, that the Star Witch Queen and the Star Prince are planning an all-out war to conquer the Sacred Universe and the Sacred World, and in order to destroy the Shadow Empire and effectively remove it out of the way completely. And one fire brother was quietly reluctantly pleased, as he's told his forces in order to apprehend these stars, he told his forces in order to apprehend these Star Generals and Warlords and then place them under their sole custody, which they were able to successfully do so. But it turned out into an all-out battle, as the Star Generals and Commanders use their hand-to-hand combat and their swordsmanship in order to fight against the five brothers operatives and leaders, fight against the five brothers operatives and agents as well. But the battle was quietly overpowering, as the Star Generals and Warlords were overpowered by the five brothers' magic and power and also abilities, that were ultimately taken in straight into the custody by the five brothers, and they were ultimately asked questions and interrogated by the five brothers on the 1st of July, teaching them that exactly their plan is exactly what they need to do in order to further up their own plans and mission, and which will exactly tell the Star Witch Queen and the Star Prince that the Shadow Empire is planning to attack the Star Universe in less than 20 days, in less than 3 days or 40 days, meaning that the attack is quite inevitable. And the Star General exactly questioned the five brothers what exactly is going to gain or benefit from the Star Empire and the Shadow Empire waging war with each other, meaning that the sole dominance of the race, the superhumans will become the sole dominant race throughout the known universe, and they'll become the most powerful species ever existed. And we, the five brothers, will become the lords and leaders of the superhumans, and will be able to rule them and command them, and conquering known worlds and known civilization throughout the known universe, throughout the Star Universe, and throughout the Shadow Empire as well, and controlling the Sacred Universe and the Sacred World to their advantage. That is exactly the real agenda and the real mission and the real goal of it, no matter what exactly, which the Star General is purposely able to agree with this matter, and saying that he will exactly help the five brothers achieve their goal and their ultimate goal, no matter what. One five brother was able to teleport through the throne room of the Shadow Empire on the 3rd of July, telling Red Bolt that the plan is quietly going the way it was supposed to be, meaning that everything else is in order as the way was predicted. And Red Bolt was quietly reluctantly pleased, stating that everything else is going the way it was supposed to be, meaning that their partnership is quietly going the way it was supposed to be, meaning that the phase of the plan is that it's directly the way it was meant to be, meaning that the operation is going the way it was always meant to be. The operation had 3 phases. One was to inform the Star Empire that the Shadow Empire is preparing itself to launch a full-scale invasion of the Star Universe. The second was to make sure that the information was quietly passed down to the Star Witch Queen and also to the Star Prince in order for them to hear the news. The third was to make sure that the Star Empire launches a full-scale invasion throughout the sacred universe and throughout the known universe in order to conquer and also to rule it, while unaware that Red Bolt and also the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders were very much aware of the situation and that it could exactly benefit them in many ways in conquering the rest of the known universe and enslaving the rest of the Star Universe and then the rest of the Star Empire and the rest of the Star Empire forces, no matter what. And in doing so, they will control the sacred universe and the sacred world and the known worlds and the known planets of the universe with an iron fist. And in doing so, the five brothers will become the sole dominant species ever existed throughout the rest of sacred history, and they'll become the most powerful species ever existed, no matter through the chaos and destruction and the turmoil they've caused. That is the plan, and that is exactly the face of it. And the five brother and Red Bolt statistically shook hands that the plan is exactly going the way it is meant to be, as always. The Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful were able to proceed with the next phase of the plan in order to ambush some of the other battle cruisers, some of the battle cruisers of the Star Empire, some of the battle cruisers of the Star Empire, and also of the Star warships of the Empire, able to use a dark magic and able to use a dark magic to destroy them and also to evaporate them, which they prepared an ambush against the Star Empire, warships and battle cruisers at that day. And that day, they exactly took a huge different turn as the Intergalactic Coalition was unaware that there was a huge ongoing war from other sizes of the Star Empire and also the Shadow Empire, realizing that the Shadow Empire is keeping them occupied on purposely in order to distract them for what's exactly really happening. The members of the Intergalactic Coalition decided to agree that some forces of evil are quietly at play here, and that there's a powerful mastermind that are quietly at control of this war, and that they're manipulating their war to advantage, and which the Universal Man was statistically able to agree. One of the Shadow Empire warlords commanders stated that the five brothers are the ones behind this madness, and the other ones completely behind this madness. The members of the Intergalactic Coalition questioned one other Shadow Empire warlord and commander, stating that how does he exactly know this? It's because that he was quietly present when Red Bolt and the five brother quietly shook hands and was able to exactly eavesdrop on their conversation as was about to deliver news with Red Bolt telling him that the Star Empire and the Star Universe is preparing to launch a full-scale invasion. Universal Man exactly stated that this is just all being manipulated. The conflicts and the wars, they've all been manipulated by the Five Brothers and also by the Dark Order, led by Red Bolt, another supervillain who is leading the Shadow Empire. That this has all exactly been manipulation in order to control the war, in order to control the conflicts and the war to their advantage, in order to further their own plans, and their sinister plans. And whatever those plans are, they're not exactly looking good for the sacred universe and for the known universe. Meaning, by any means necessary, they have to statistically have to be stopped, no matter what. The members of the Four Nation Hunter Council agree that these plans exactly will have to be stopped no matter what. Which statistically agree. The members of the Intergalactic Coalition were able to dispatch a team of agents and alien agents in order to fly with their battle cruisers and warships in order to prevent an all-out war before it exactly took place, which they were definitely able to do so. By doing so, the five brother was very quietly pleased that the spy exactly delivered the information as anticipated and was able to exactly launch his dark fiery magic straightly at the Intergalactic Coalition battle cruisers and warships at the exact same time, and was able to decimate them before they can exactly reach to their final destination between the Star Empire and the Shadow Empire that are quietly waging war together for sole control and for sole dominance of the known universe and of the sacred universe as well. By any means necessary. And the five brothers were quietly statistically pleased as they were able to reconvene at the fiery dark ancient temple on the 20th of July telling him that the plan is quietly going the way it was supposed to be, meaning that they are the most powerful masterminds able to manipulate the sacred galactic war to their advantage in order to control it, meaning that the Four Nation Hunters are quietly occupied by fighting dark monsters, fighting monsters from the dark dimension, which is quietly good enough in order to keep them occupied, and the Intergalactic Coalition won't exactly intervene to the operations or to their plans, meaning that everything else is going accordingly to plan the way it's supposed to be. Sooner or later, the star universe will solely be under their sole control, and so will planet Earth, and so will the other worlds, especially the sacred world and the sacred universe, and the superhuman race and the Five Brothers will become the sole dominant species ever existed throughout the cosmos, no matter what. And that plan is about to bear fruit. And all the Five Brothers were quite disgustingly happy that that plan is exactly about to bear fruit. They decided it's best that they dispatch all the Asians and all the operatives to create chaos and destruction among the Intergalactic Coalition, since the Intergalactic Coalition is already compromised by the newly Northern Magic and under the influence of the newly Northern Magic and his ancient sixth society of supervillains known as the Order of Power as well, meaning that they could exactly use it to their advantage in order to further their own goals and their own mission as well. So were able to dispatch their agents in order to wreak chaos and destruction and carnage among the other worlds and among the other civilizations, in order for the Four Nation Hunters, to continue the operation in liberating other worlds and other civilizations from the monsters that are quietly wreaking havoc and that are still planning on destroying other worlds and other civilizations. And the Five Brothers were reluctantly very pleased and very quietly happy with this operation, that everything else is going according to plan, literally into plan. They'll become the sole dominant rulers of the cosmos, no matter what. Guys, despite this, the Five Brothers are a group of powerful, dark, fiery magic users who are intelligent and very, very highly skilled with dark fire magic. They have the ability of teleportation, the ability of opening portals, the ability of summoning, the ability of possessioning, the ability of mind control, the ability of flight, the ability of creating, combining technology, combining dark technology with dark fiery magic in order to supply the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders with more powerful destructive technology. They even forged a powerful symbiotic alliance with a group of powerful ancient supervillains known as the Dark Order. Remember the Dark Order that I told you about Red Bolt, who's the leader and founder of the Dark Order? They formed an alliance with Red Bolt and the Dark Order, who's quietly currently the leader of the Shadow Empire and who's quietly leading it through with the sheer force of will. This alliance only benefits them to becoming the sole rulers of the universe and to becoming the sole rulers of the universe and of the star universe, the golden universe, the sacred universe, the over universe, robotics, Mixel, and the other universes, no matter what, and even by controlling planet Earth through chaos and through destruction in order to further their own plans and their own interests. No matter what, the Five Brothers are a group of powerful dark magic users who are intelligent, who have lived for many centuries and many millennia, who bear a scientific mind. They do have a scientific mind, guys. They literally do have a scientific mind, and they are also quietly good in forming alliances with other powerful super criminals such as Ghostmaster, Black Mask, Dark Witch Laura, the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful, the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders and leaders as well, in order to further their own goals and their own plans, in order for their own plans to come an ultimate goal to controlling the war and manipulating the war to their advantage, in order to manipulate the war to their advantage, in order to further their own plans and their own sinister goals by placing themselves and the rest of their kind to make sure that the rest of their kind and their species become the sole dominant ruling species of the cosmos and of the sacred universe as well, no matter what, through chaos and through destruction, and by manipulating wars and conflicts through their own advantages in order to control the universe and the sacred universe and the Shadow Empire. No matter what, they are very, very powerful masterminds. They're a group of powerful mastermind, intelligent, very strong, and very, very, very deadly, powerful villains with a goal and with the simple goal to dominate their species and their race, to making sure that they become the most sole dominant rulers of the galaxy and of the known universe and of the sacred universe. No matter what, they believe that they believe that they believe that they are destined to rule humanity and the rest of sacred existence and the rest of the known universe by manipulating humanity and the rest of the universal heroes and its defenders through conflicts and through conflicts and through wars and through chaos and destruction. They're willing to do whatever it takes to further their own goal and their interests. They are powerful, dark, fiery magic users who have lived for many centuries, who view the original Lord of Magic as a father figure. They quietly respect him and they quietly love him. They'll do whatever it takes to honor him and to follow his last wish. But they don't believe in his goal in exterminating, in wiping out the supernaturals, the aliens, the superhuman race out of existence. They don't believe in that goal or trust in that ambition. They have their own ambition and their own goal by making sure that the superhuman race and the five brothers species remains the dominant ruling species of the cosmos and of the sacred world and of the sacred universes. They are very, very good in forming alliances with powerful criminals and very deadly supervillains that ever lived throughout the ages, such as Red Bolt and the Dark Order and the members of the Dark Order, in order to further their own goal so that they can reach their ultimate goal in order to controlling and ruling the sacred universe and the known universe. No matter what, guys. No matter what. The five brothers are smart, intelligent, quietly good in hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, agility, endurance, teleportation, summoning, possessioning, mind controlling, opening portals to other worlds and other dimensions. They are very skilled with dark, fiery magic, very skilled with dark, fiery magic. They're immortal beings that have lived for many, many centuries and for many millennia. They believe that their species and their kind are the sole rulers of the cosmos, and they're willing to do whatever it takes for that goal to bear fruition, no matter what. They view the Universal Prince and his ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Order of the 12 as an obstacle, and they learned from their past mistakes that the Universal Heroes and the Universal Earth Heroes, the Universal Defending Heroes, the Universal Space Heroes, the 4 Nation Hunters, the 5 Nation Hunters, 10, 11 Nation Hunters, and the Intergalactic Coalition and the World Heroes are not meant to be underestimated. Especially not to underestimate their abilities, since they've interfered with their operation and as well as their plans. They learn so quickly and they are fast learners, and they learn from their past mistakes that the Universal Heroes' abilities and the rest of their allies' abilities are not meant to be underestimated. Not even for 1 second. They are very great learners, they learn very quickly, and they're very sharp learners. Very skilled learners and very intelligent beings and immortal dark magic users who have lived for many centuries and many millennia, forming alliances with other powerful criminals in order for their ultimate goal to bear fruition, and to place in their species and the superhuman race as a sole dominant rulers of the universe and of the cosmos is what they're willing to do, no matter what. And by removing the Universal Heroes and the other heroes out of the way, they're willing to do just that, to wipe them out and also to exterminate them, since they view them as a threat to their goals and to their mission. That is their plan, and that is their purpose and their goal. And they're willing to do whatever it takes to make sure it comes to fruition, no matter what. The five brothers are fiery, dark magic users, immortal beings with great, beautiful complexion and very, very great, beautiful complexion. And they are very beautiful and are very immortal. They have lived many centuries. They maintain their usual bases of operation as well as a central headquarters for them to operate from, using the dark fiery temple crystal in order for them to secretly convene and meet to discuss the operation. They maintain the usual basis of operation in order for them to secretly meet and convene and discuss the operation, and as well to further their plans and their goals and their mission. So guys, that's it for today. I will see you tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you quietly enjoyed it. Remember, like and subscribe and view my videos and my episode. I always appreciate your support, and you guys viewing me means a lot to me. It literally means a lot to me. Take it from me, it means a lot. Remember guys, don't give up to your dreams. Don't ever give up on your dreams. Continue pursuing them, no matter what. Have a wonderful, blessed evening and afternoon. I will see you tomorrow at perhaps at a different time, maybe more earlier than today, but definitely see you tomorrow in a very more different time. But we'll talk more about the next group of characters and about the next group of superheroes and supervillains, and we'll discuss more about them. Have a wonderful, blessed evening and afternoon. See you tomorrow. Stay safe, guys. Bye.